Hey everybody, how you doing? Sheepdog here, and I wanted to start a new YouTube channel. I mean, the channel's been there for a while, but I haven't done anything with it, so I decided I'm going to start doing something with it. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about cab over trucks and people working on them and whatnot, and I've learned a lot about them. And I've been a truck driver since 2008, and I've been driving conventional trucks. Them are the ones with the long nose. Cab overs are the square ones. For those of you that don't know, it's basically a square box sitting over top of the motor with a couple axles behind it. That's what a cab over is. A conventional is not quite a square box, but it's got a cab with a nose in front of it, like a hood. It's got a hood, and some are longer and some are shorter. And steer tires are out front of where the driver sits, and there's a couple of drive tires behind it. Some can have one axle, some can have two. Anyway, you can look them up. They're pretty easy to figure out. Well, I like cab overs because I'm kind of an old school guy. My dad had a cab over. I remember when I was a kid. I remember riding in the back of it in the bunk and had a good time with me and my sister at the time. And I always wanted to get one just to have it, you know. And well, after I started driving truck and years went by, I decided that, you know, I want to own one of them and drive it. Anyway, so getting back to that, you know, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of YouTube videos about cab overs, and I see a lot of YouTube videos about Kenworth cab overs, Peterbilt cab overs, and a lot of those. I mean, them are the big names, and so there's a couple YouTube channels out there, people working on their Kenworth or their Peterbilt. I'm talking about the K100 Kenworth, and I'm talking about the 352 or 362 Peterbilt cab over. Again, I see a lot of those, but I don't see a lot of international cab overs being worked on. I haven't found a YouTube channel yet where somebody's working on their international cab over. They're either working on a Peterbilt or a Kenworth. Well, in 2017, I bought a cab over. It's a 1984 International 9670 cab over with a big cam Cummins in it. It's called the Big Cam 3, and it's got 400 horsepower and all this other good stuff. So without further ado, let me show it to you. All right, here we go. Let's back it up a little bit. I was a little too close there. All right, there she is. She got the front steer tire off right now because I've been doing a little bit of work changing the shock on that side, and I had to pull off the fuel warmer. But she's in pretty good shape for being an 84. Little fogginess on that right side windshield there. I'm gonna work on them later in life. I ain't cracked or nothing, so I ain't worried about them right now. The only body damage it has, outside a few minor blemishes and some rust holes, is this right here. That's the, well, let's see if I can get it down there. Whoop, wrong way, sorry about that, folks. There you go, you see that little hole right there. Yeah. So I can replace that. Bumper's a little messed up, but it's still solid, so I ain't worried about it. Not worried about changing that at all. It can stay just the way it is. Oh, and I got a problem with the windshield washer wiper motor. That one's got to be replaced. I got the cover off, got the bolts loose. I just need to get it out of there and put another one in it. Let's see what else we got. The side view here. Yep, right there. That's where a blinker goes, indicator. I've got them on order. The old ones, all they did was blink. They didn't light up. Well, the new ones will light up and blink, and that's what I want. Sorry the camera's so close. I'm still working this gimbal, so I apologize. As you know, YouTubers, we make mistakes in the beginning, but we get better as we go, so I'll get better. I put them lights on right there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put them on. They're not wired yet. As you can see that wire down there. I still got to wire them up. Let's see, let's get back to the beginning. I bought this truck for $5,000. It's got good tanks on it. It's got a good frame on it, but let me show you that frame. That's not a bad looking frame, is it? No, not a bad looking frame at all, even the inside. I ain't did nothing with the inside. Now what I did with the outside, once I got it, this ain't the original fifth wheel that was on it either. The original fifth wheel was the original fifth wheel, a Holland fifth wheel, and it was just junk. So we torched off all them bolts and tore it off there and threw it in the scrap heap. And I went and bought this one. This is a, oh, I forget now. There you go, Fontaine Slack, number Slack 2, model number right there. According to my research, that's the best fifth wheel you can have on a semi truck right there. So anyway, so we did that. I put a new fifth wheel on there, newer. It's not brand new, obviously, but it's got new shocks on it. These were what they call bud wheels when I first got it. But they're Hub Pilot now. I get that word mixed up. They call them bud wheels, stud pilot, and then they got Hub Pilot. Well, stud pilot, if I'm saying this right, somebody will correct me, is stud pilot is bud wheels, I think. And then they got Hub Pilot, which is the new standard of wheel, and that's what's on there right now is Hub Pilot. I got the axles. I didn't change the whole axle, just the outer, the hubs and everything I got changed. It's got new brakes on it back there. It's got 4 airbags on it, brand new 4 airbags. New shocks back here. I still got to put some mud flap hangers and mud flaps back here, but that's all I got to do on this. From the back all the way up to the clutch. That transmission's, I don't think that's the original transmission, but it's an older transmission either way. It's a 13-speed, and it's good to go. It's been checked out. It's all good to go. And in front of that is a brand new clutch. I got 4 new batteries in that box right there. As you can tell, I got the exhaust off of it. I took the exhaust off a couple weekends ago. I'm putting dual exhaust on it. Yep, I got to move that power steering reservoir. Once I get the new exhaust pipe, I'm gonna get one of them right there and put it over on this side, and I'm gonna have dual stacks, and the air cleaner runs underneath the cab, so I ain't gonna move that for now. I keep going backwards. I'm gonna remove them grab handles. I've already removed the air lines. I plan on putting the air lines back here on the deck. I think that just leaves it a much cleaner look. Yeah, so on this is the side with the, I'm gonna keep going back. Sorry about that, people. This side here, on this tank, this is the side you get up on the deck with. This here's step. There you go. That's a step. You step up there, you grab that handle, and you step up in there and you do your business. Well, I'm gonna put that same step on the other tank on the other side, and that same step on the tank I'm gonna put on the other tank. That's my plan. And this decking right here only covers so much of the deck, and I want to cover the whole deck from right there behind the battery box all the way to the fifth wheel. And yeah, I got new brakes on this thing too, so basically from the clutch all the way to the rear minus the mud flaps and hangers, it's all done. It's completely done. Oh, and I got to replace this here too. This right there, it's cracked. The other side's all right, but it's faded, so I'm going to replace that to match the mud flaps. Okay, and as you can see, the back of the cab is in good shape. Nothing wrong with it. The interior of this cab, which I'll show you later, is in great shape. Now, that's the back side, the driver's side, and the front. I got to get new horns for it, because they don't work. They're old. Somebody's tried to fix them, and they got to be changed out. I can get new ones $100 a piece, so I ain't worried about that. And them lights up there, I'm going to replace them with LED lights, because I like LED. Okay, so when we get over here, and we're all good. Now the top of the cab has seen better days. It needs to be sanded down, repainted. I'll end up doing that eventually. But other than that, the glass is all good. The side's all good. I got the lights down on this side too. I changed the front wheels on this truck when I changed the back wheels. I changed the front wheels at the same time with aluminum. So I'm gonna get covers for all 6 of them. And let's see, is there anything else? That door handle right there, used to didn't open the door, it was broke, so I had to replace that. So that's been replaced. That was actually the original International door handle, still had the symbol on it and everything. And neither one of the locks on these doors worked at all. And so I replaced both locks, and I got keys, and then now they work. Everything works. Yep. So that's what she looks like on the outside. I apologize again for my camera work. I'm not used to this gimbal, and I'm just starting out using it, so bear with me. We'll get better. Today I want to air up my airbags, because last weekend I put air to the tanks, but my airbags didn't inflate. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Some people told me that the air leveler valve is probably stuck, so I'm going to work on that today. I've done a lot of work to it without being on video, like changing that 5th wheel, doing the little things here and there, you know, removing this exhaust, and yeah. So, in fact, the exhaust, what the hell, where'd it go? Yeah, right there. There it is. That's the exhaust muffler and pipe that was on it. That other pipe, that one on top of the muffler, is what I use for my air intake. Yep, just ductwork. It works just fine. That's what I use for my air intake. And then here's my my heater box. That's not the heater, it's the air control box. I had to pull all that out. Well, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, that's where that goes. That heater control air box goes right there. I took all that out because I had to track down the wiring for my blinker location. Here's the wire that goes down through there, but I got to be able to feed wire down, because the blinker I'm getting is going to have 4 wires going through there. So what I had to do was feed this down in there, this wire, this metal wire, so I can now pull wire through there. I've wired a lot of things over the years, so I know how to do wiring. I got my dash all tore apart right now. Let me see if I can get you up in there without killing anybody. All right, yeah, we're up in here now. And there's the whole dash. I got it tore apart. Right over there where you see the light coming through, that's where that windshield wiper motor is. I got to take that out. I took this out because there's just a lot of junk back there, and I want to figure it all out. So I pulled the panel out forward, and I got all my gauges over there out except for my speedometer and my tachometer, which I did fix. The speedometer, I cleaned everything up, and then readjusted the pins on my speedometer because it was off. And with the help of International, they were able to give me the right code, so I put it in. So I put them back in the dash, and we should be all good. And my gauges, now I'll show you over there in a minute. Let's get here. There you go. Look at here. I want to show you something, if I can get my camera working right. Look at that. That's the original plastic from the factory in 1984, still on the top roof ceiling. Yep, this is just your basic bunk. It don't have any spectacular. It's got some settings over there on the other side of that curtain for lights and such. Plug in for your lighter and whatnot. Don't have a bed in it right now. I used to have one in it, but I gotta get this cleaned up. A little bit of nasty in there I gotta get cleaned up, but that's it. Other than that, it's solid. No problems. There's part of my dash right there. All this interior, this carpet, it's just dirty. There's no holes in it. There's no tears in it. Nothing. The whole dash, no cracks, no nothing. Everything is good to go. Just needs cleaned. We got storage up here. Even the windshield, even the visors. Now that don't work. That would shock me if that worked, but that don't work. And that's not a big deal. The lights don't come on. There's the wires that go to it, so I can probably trace them and fix it, but I haven't done it yet. And look at there, folks. Ain't that something? A visor in the middle of the windshield. Ain't that? Boy, I'll tell you what, the things they come up with. All right, let's see. There's my 13 speed coming out of the doghouse. That's what we call this thing right here. That's the doghouse. And there's my legacy seat. Very nice seat. I like it. It's old. It's not nothing new, but it's a nice seat. So there you go. You got the picture of the inside on this angle. Let's go around to the other angle. Oh, I guess I could show you my gauges. They're sitting right there. They're just dirty. So I'm gonna clean all them up. But right now I'm cleaning up the board that those plug into, that sit behind them. I'm cleaning the board up first and the cable connections and all that to make sure. I want everything to work. Everything to work. There's my Wilson antenna. I got two of them. Anyway, this seat over here, let me get out of this damn thing. All right, hold on, folks. I gotta figure out where I'm at here. Oh, there we go. All right. Now this seat here, that's the original seat, and you can tell it's old, but it looks like it just came out of the factory, out of some plastic. Oh, okay, and look at my door. It's plain. I mean, there ain't nothing special about these doors, but look at it. It just needs cleaned up, wiped down. Nothing wrong with it, nothing at all. I don't like to zoom on this. I can't back it off at all. So I gotta step way back. All right, so let's go in this door now. Here's my dash. Got my floor tore out right now because that pan right there, where all them air lines are going through, it's cracked. I need to replace that pan, seal it up, make it look better, make it work. That's all tore out. I have to get to that wire that goes outside from my indicator that's out there. Yep. Here's the windshield washer tank right there. Motor's burnt out of it, so I got to replace that. No big deal. Trying to get my camera to work here. Sorry about that, folks. There's that panel I pulled out in the middle. It's got all the switches on it. I'm gonna change some switches and make it look all more uniform. And if I can get the new switches, I can get them with lights, because the mechanism, let me get up in here. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, so this mechanism right here, which I know it's hard to see, this plastic piece right here, it's what controls the lights on your gauges. You know, lets you know what gauge it is and where it's at. There's my brakes, yellow knob, red knob. Behind that is where I have an air leak. The only air leak as of right now. Well, no, it's the only air leak. It's the only air leak I have in this truck is the mechanism that them gauges are connected to, or them push buttons are connected to. All right, here's my dash. I got 6 gauges that go on this side and 6 gauges that go on that side. And I have 12 of those gauges. I'm gonna get 2 more boost gauge and a pyrometer. Yep. The horn doesn't work, so I had to install this push button right here, but it works. I spent a little time trying to get this horn to work because I like things to work like they're supposed to when they come from the factory, but I wasn't able to figure it out in the time that I spent on it, so I just added that button there. Let's see. There's the CB I'm going to put in it, if I can get my camera to angle fast enough. There we go. And again, let's see, we got some cubby hole up in there. There's the radio I put in it. Spent 40 bucks on that AM FM cassette, and yes, I do have cassettes, and they're back there somewhere. I have bags and bags of cassettes, to be honest with you. Got them free. Let's see, is there anything else? Let's see. Dadgum camera. Here's my other visor. It's in great shape. Here's the door. Look at that. That door is fine. Wish it'd stay open, but you know, that's what happens. Yeah, door is in great shape. Now this is a manual window, excuse me. That over there is an electric door. It has a motor in it, which still works, but the switch on my side, driver's side, doesn't work great. Works once in a while, but the switch on the passenger side works just fine. So that's just a wiring problem, switch problem. Let's see, again, I can show you the carpet. It's all fine, folks. It really is. There's nothing bad about anything in here. It's just dirty and old. This 13-speed works great. All the buttons work, all the switches work. Gauges work haphazardly. That's why I'm taking them out and cleaning them, and these connectors right here, you know, clean all these contacts up. Same with that side over there, and then put it all back together and hope for the best. Let's see, this is my legacy seat right here. Some of y'all might recognize it, Eldorado. Maybe it ain't a legacy seat. I thought it said legacy somewhere. Maybe that's what I'm thinking it said. It's an Eldorado. Got pockets on the other side. Both sides got pockets. Huh? Eldorado. I thought it was a legacy. I swore it said legacy somewhere. Made in USA. Hot damn. All right, so I stand corrected. Eldorado. All right, so there you got the inside, the outside. Let's see what we got in the motor. Now this bad boy right there is where the fuel pump goes, and I got a brand new fuel pump. Well, it's not brand new, it's rebuilt fuel pump. There's your compressor, and it's got all them belts on there, which I'm gonna replace all them belts. I got a new alternator on it, and that belt's been replaced, but the rest of the belts have not been replaced. I've really been stuck on what I'm gonna do with this motor because it's in bad shape. I mean, it runs great. You know, hardly any blow by or anything. It just runs real smooth, but it looks bad. It looks bad, and it leaks oil pretty bad right there, right out of that plate. So I gotta take that off, which I'm not looking forward to that, and reseal it. Trying to get this shock off right here. There it is. I've got the top part of it off. Goes right there, but that bottom bolt is stuck. So I'm working on that. And I'm gonna take these cans off, brake canisters off, and change them out because them just look bad. They work, but they look terrible. So I'm gonna change them out to brand new ones. They're not that expensive. There's my cylinder to lift my cab. I got one on each side. Neither one of them leak. Neither one of them leak. Thank the Lord. And there's my, that's the cab mount for the front. There's two, one on each side. This one's it's rusty, but it's in good solid shape. The one on the other side's got a hole in the bottom. And the tire's on there right now, so I can't show you that. But what I can show you is cab cylinder, or lift cylinder, cab tilt lift pump. And that's the original. And for when I first got it, and up until about a couple weeks ago, it was leaking right out of that main shaft there every time I pump it. So it had water in it and everything. Well, a couple weekends ago, I decided to did some research on it, and the guy told me all you gotta do is take it apart and replace the O-ring. So that's what I did. I tore all that apart. I didn't tear that back part off because it wasn't leaking. Nothing was leaking out of around it. It was only leaking out of here. And so I pulled this all out, replaced the seal down in here, pulled this out and replaced the O-ring down in there, placed the O-ring in here, and now I can pump it and nothing leaks. I had to empty out all the hydraulic fluid and replace it with new hydraulic fluid because it had water in it. So, but it works great now. See if I can get a picture up in here. There you go. There's what the top of that bad boy looks like. It don't look too bad, but that cover right there, it's called the aftercooler cover. It is got holes in it on the side that I can't show you. Turbo's in great shape. It's an HT3. I need to replace that right there. Let's see if I can get you. That right there is a cooler. I forget what it's called. It's a cooler. Exhaust cooler, I think is what it's called, and I got to replace that because it leaks. And it looks terrible. And the parts are only 50 bucks a piece, so I don't need to worry about that. And the exhaust manifold leaks. So I got that on back order. I'm going to replace the exhaust manifold. There you go. Yep, replace the exhaust manifold. I got to replace that. Cooler, exhaust cooler, and the after cooler cover has got to be replaced. Let's see, I can replace all that, and I'll probably be doing good. All right, so looking at this cab over, I'm gonna try and make more videos. Well, I'm gonna try and I know I'm gonna do more work on it. So the goal is to make videos while I'm working on it, so that we can put a International 9670 on the YouTube and try to outdo all these Kenworths and Peterbilts. How about that? All right, now we ain't trying to outdo anybody. We're just trying to put out the information. Now, there's probably a lot of drivers like myself that like these old Internationals. I know I love this truck. It's a great truck. It runs great, and I'm really torn between just fixing it as it is, like I was saying earlier, and rebuilding the motor. Rebuilding the motor is going to cost me about 25-30 grand, simply because we don't know until we get into it, get it out of the frame, you know, what else we got to do. I'm thinking right off the bat, you know, pull the whole motor out. I know I got to rebuild the radiator. We got to replace coolant lines. We got to replace belts and all them other things I mentioned earlier, as far as the after cooler cover, the exhaust manifold, the exhaust cooler. Them things got to be changed no matter what I do. But once I pull the motor out, I'm definitely gonna replace the motor mounts, right? I mean, that only makes sense. So I got to replace all the motor mounts. But what else do I got to change? Well, we don't know until we pull it out of there. And I'm not even confident 100% that anybody's going to want to rebuild that block. It's pretty corroded on the outside, so bad that the serial number's not even on the block no more. So, I mean, it's pretty solid, but you know, maybe it's just me. I'm not an expert at blocks. I know what they are. I've rebuilt some gassers before, but never a diesel block. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pay somebody else to do it, so it's done right. And I can buy a used block or a rebuilt motor, a long block, short block. I can buy a short block for about $6,500. Still got to find the heads or rebuild the ones I got, and then put all the other stuff on it that I've already got that I still got to change anyway. So I'm thinking about going that route. But the only problem with buying a rebuilt block from somebody you don't know, what parts did they use? In this industry, it's really important that you use proper parts. And that means Cummins if possible. And then there's arguments there's discussions out there about PAI and these other two companies I can't think of right now. But I found an old dude. He's in his 60s and he still rebuilds the motors in these things, and he loves doing it, and he's been doing it his whole life. So 40 years he said he's been doing, over 40 years. So that's in Ohio. I forget the name of the town now, but yeah, I think if I decide to rebuild the motor, which I'm probably gonna do, I think I need to, because I don't even know how many miles are on this truck. When I bought it, the current odometer isn't I found another odometer in the back in the box, cargo box. So I don't know if that's the original odometer or what. I don't know. I talked to the fellow that last owned this truck. I bought this truck from a dealership, and the guy that owned it, that took it to the dealership to be sold, it was a farmer. He used this for, I think he said 5 years. No. Okay, here's what he told me. He bought the truck in '96. The guy that originally bought the truck in '85 drove it over the road until '96 when he put it up for sale, and this guy, the farmer, bought it. And the farmer used it to haul grain from '96 to, I don't know, I bought this in 2017. He said it sat for 3 to 5 years, so 2012, 96 to 2012. So it's got to have over 1 million miles on it. And I don't know if it's been rebuilt, because the old man didn't seem to remember a lot. He was an older guy. Not saying nothing bad about the guy, but we can lose our memory as we get older. That's just facts of life. I can talk about that too, though. I can prevent that. Anyway, I don't want to digress. So he, looking at the frame, I wish you could have seen the frame when I first got the truck. We had to, like I said before, we pulled that fifth wheel off there, and it was just, the frame was pretty bad. It had some cracks in it, some holes, right? And the guy that was helping me do the work on the back, not the clutch, but the rest of the work that was done back there, new hubs, brakes, all that stuff. He's the one that torched off the bolts, and we pulled it off there, and he told me straight up, he said, you should just take it to the scrapyard. Now that was before I put all the nice tires and wheels on it, and I cleaned up the frame, and I had a welder come over and weld the cracks and strengthen the frame up, and it's good to go. It's solid. I ran this thing on the road for almost 4 months, and it's good to go. That fifth wheel, that frame is solid. I ain't worried about it at all. So I've got a lot of time and money in this. Like I said earlier, I spent $5,000 on the truck to own it. I spent $1,000 to get it transferred to me. Actually, it got transferred to the place where the fifth wheel got taken off, and all the work on removing the stud pilots and putting hub pilots on there. They all got done at that same shop, Neil's, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Anyway, so $1,000 to get it there, so that's $6,000. Well, before it got there, I had it transferred to a shop in Illinois where they changed out. They did a complete front to back, top to bottom inspection on it, and gave me a list of what needed. And they even told me that it might be too far gone. But I told them, go ahead and change the clutch. They changed the clutch. That cost me $3,000 for all that work that they did. And then I had it brought up here. So you're looking at $9,000 right there, just to buy the truck, have it shipped, and have the clutch changed out, along with the inspection that they did down there. But and then I've put in over 7,000, I think 8,000 at Neil's. There's 17,000 right there, and I know I've spent another $3-4,000 on it. So we're at 20,000 in this truck right now. And look, now a lot of people are saying, man, that's a lot of damn money. It is. And if I spend, let's say we're at 20, just to make the number even. And if I spend another 25 to get that motor rebuilt, let's say 30. We're at what, $50,000? I don't care. I don't care. Y'all got to look at it as a business, all right? In business, in trucking, you're gonna go out and buy a used truck, and you're gonna deal with what you get. All right. If you don't know a lot about trucks and you don't know how to inspect them, you don't take people's advice, you're gonna buy an old truck and you're gonna deal with what you get. You may get a lemon, you may get a freaking blessed truck, you may get the best truck. Somebody was stupid to sell it, right? That kind of truck. Or you may get in between. But somewhere in there, you're gonna get, that's what kind of truck you're gonna get. Odds are it's not gonna be a great truck to start. Them are just 1 in a million. But anyway, or you can go out and buy a brand new truck, brand freaking new. Nobody's ever drove it. Nobody's ever smelled it up. Nobody's ever burned a hole in the seat, nothing. And you're gonna pay $125,000 to $150,000 for a brand new, out of the factory, not out of the factory, out of the dealership truck, period. I can spend 60 grand on this cab over. 60 grand. 60 grand. And it'll be a brand new, used, old truck, and I'm happy with that. It'll be solid going down the road. Everything will work, everything will look good, it'll pass a DOT inspection. It won't be no different than when I'm riding down the highway. I will be no different than that truck next to me that's a brand new 2021 Peterbilt. No different. Yeah, the Peterbilt's going to be prettier, it's going to be ride better probably. Yep. It's going to have more bells and whistles. Yep. It's also going to have more sensors, DEF, DPF, DEF, braking systems. I mean, all kinds of stuff, right? Stuff. I can't work on those trucks. I can work on this truck. I can work on that truck right there. I can work on just about everything. Easy. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's simple. It's all simple. It's not easy. I shouldn't use the word easy. It's simple. Hard work, but simple. And I can work on that truck. So you got to think about that too, truckers. If you're going to go out and buy a truck, think about it. You want that E-log in that truck? You want them cameras in that truck? You want all them sensors on that motor? You want all that stuff? Because that stuff all costs money. And this truck don't get none of that. I ain't got no EGR. I ain't got no DEF. I ain't got no DPF. I don't have E-logs. Now look, I want to say something about them E-logs. When I drove this truck on the road for 3 or 4 months for a company called CWS, they actually put an E-log in my truck. Now I forget the name of it right now, but that's not important. What I'm trying to get at is they can still hook it up. They can wire the hot wire, red wire, or the ground wire, the hot wire, the light wire, the whatever, and they can put a GPS antenna in it. And so they can track your movement. Yeah, you're moving, all right? But the only thing I used that for was to turn in my miles every morning before I started my day, and they could track my truck with it, track where its location was, going down the road, parked, whatever. So I can deal with that, all right? But I don't have to worry about, I still had to use paper logs, which I don't even like using paper logs. I'd rather use an app on my phone. I've done that twice in trucking, and it's just like gravy. So not a big deal. Not a big deal. Let me get over here in the shade a little bit. There we go. Get it to look. There we go. There we go. All right. I don't know how much time. Let's see where we're at. 10 minutes on this, a few minutes on the other. And we're almost at a half hour probably by the time I get these videos put together. But you know what? I apologize for dragging this out. But see, I didn't do it right. I should have made a video when I pulled that front wheel off, right? I should have made a video when I took them blinkers off. I should have made a video when I changed this fifth wheel over here. I should have made a video when I tore off them mud flaps. I should have made a video when I replaced those batteries right there. I should have made a video when I replaced the air intake on that and the air filter, and when I took the fuel pump out, and when I took the starter out. I didn't even show you that. I got the old starter laying over it. You probably saw it. It's on the video. I'm sure it is. It's underneath the steer tire that's missing, the steer tire that's not on. It's underneath the hub sitting right there on the ground. I got the new starter inside the cab in a box. I got a brand new starter, brand new rebuilt fifth fuel pump, and I don't got no video for none of that. I get started on stuff, and I just get going, and that and work and time with wife, and well, I seem to have a lot of time to watch videos, and I just enjoy those videos. Let me set my camera down here. See how this looks. There we go. I just enjoy those videos. And by the way, if my sound ain't good, don't worry. I got it ain't ordered yet, but I got one picked out, a microphone. So I'll be getting me a microphone, and I've been learning from all these other guys that buy microphones and what not to buy. So I'll get that taken care of, and from this day forward, I promise to make a video every time I work on this, whether it be a 5-minute video or a 30-minute video or an hour video. If I only make a 5-minute video, don't worry, I'm not going to post a 5-minute video. My videos will be 15 minutes to 30 minutes long. That's my goal. So if I make a couple 5-minute videos, I'll put them together. Okay. I still got to learn all that stuff, and don't mind the chickens. That little rooster is a bantam. I ain't gonna explain it. You can look it up. He's just a little mini rooster, and he thinks he's big boy, but he ain't. Anyway, so yeah. So going forward, I'm gonna start making videos every time I work on this. And today I'm gonna work on the trying to get these airbags to blow up and raise up this back end here. I hooked up the air to the 2 tanks last weekend, weekend before, and I was able to find the leak, and everything seemed to be good to go except for that one leak. But again, my airbags didn't fill up, so I'm going to try and work on that today, try to get them to start working. This truck's been sitting here since October 2017. That's when I parked it because the fuel pump was leaking too bad to drive on the road, and since then I've gotten 2017. I know 4 damn years. Trust me, I wanted to be in this truck on the road making money with it way before now, and I've realized that it's not going to happen until I make it happen. So I'm going to make it happen, and I've always wanted to do YouTube videos. I put some out there and they never went anywhere, and not making excuses, I'm just saying I never put 100% into it. So that's my goal, put 100% into my YouTube videos, make a video every time I work on this truck, no matter what it is. Make my videos better and better every time, and give out some good content, something that people like. And like I said, I see Peterbilt YouTube videos about Peterbilt cab overs, YouTube videos about Kenworth cab overs, Peterbilt or YouTube videos about dump trucks and all kinds of stuff, Detroit motors, Cummins motors, Cat motors, but I don't see a lot about Cat motors, but Detroit and Cummins motors I see a lot about. But I don't see nothing, excuse the daggone book, I don't see nothing about 9670 International cab overs. I don't. Not videos. So to me it's an invitation to make it happen. So that's what I'm going to do, folks. And I appreciate anybody that watches these videos. Leave a comment, let me know what you think so I can get better. And with that, farewell.